This segment of Bull Strong Inside USF Football is presented by Wendy's. As Halloween approached, there's no masquerading for the South Florida Bulls. They are the real deal, having harvested more wins over their last 41 games than all but 2 teams in the country. The excitement in the Bay Area and beyond grows weekly for this top 25 program, and the Bulls were primed to try to go 7-0 for the second straight season as they got set for homecoming and a visit from the UCONN Huskies. The Bulls have been developing something really special for several years, but they know the rest of the football world realizes that too. As they've emerged from the cloud of the rest of college football, their opponents bring their best each week. And the longer the streak goes, the more intense it gets for Charlie Strong's squad. Where South Florida has dominated is in the win column, and they have learned how to do that in all sorts of circumstances and scenarios. It's not always a picture-perfect South Florida homecoming day. Sometimes it's with a big defensive play. Against UConn, it would be with a remarkable performance from their running attack. But the biggest thing is the ability to be patient, even when things don't start the way they were planned.
Barnett dumps it off. Wilcox through his hands and intercepted.
The bounce of the ball put Brian Jean-Marie's defense in a tough spot. The Huskies went 3 and out on their first possession, but took advantage of good field position on their second.
Bendel the handoff. Hall opens up. Mensa's got a first down and a touchdown. Out of the pocket, looking for Wilcox down the field, intercepted again!
2 possessions, 2 picks, but Charlie Strong's teams don't panic. They roll up their sleeves and problem solve. The Bulls' concept of team took over, and the defense kept UConn from cashing in on the second early turnover. Nothing new there. Since Brian Jean-Marie became defensive coordinator, South Florida's defense has become one of, if not the best, in the American Athletic Conference. And they kept playing well, while the high-powered South Florida offense struggled to find their rhythm much of the first half. The confidence stemming from past success makes it easier to be patient, and USF kept plugging away.
1 minute to go in the half, 2nd and 2 from the UConn 15-yard line. Bulls have all their timeouts, but you can't forget about that clock, now at 49 seconds. 2nd and 2 from the 15. They run it, and here is a touchdown.
Johnny Ford, the freshman running back, his 3rd touchdown of the year.
43 seconds left in the half, but the Bulls get on the board as Johnny Ford runs it in for his 3rd touchdown of the year.
So it was back to even as the teams headed to the locker room, and South Florida was already making adjustments and talking about the task ahead before the halftime show even started. The late score not only brought a sense of relief, but foreshadowed a third-quarter offensive explosion that would put the Bulls ahead for good.
And the Bulls will throw. They flare it out. He's got the field beat. He breaks a tackle. St. Felix, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Randall St. Felix from 80 yards out. Just the hitch pattern again. Blake Barnett hit him, and the Bulls lead for the first time this game.
It took just one play to start the second half with a touchdown, and Ray J was roaring with approval and anticipation. And it was just the start. The first series of the second half is always important, and South Florida set the tone for a wildly productive reboot. The mental toughness of quarterback Blake Barnett was evident. Suddenly, passes that did not connect in the first half were threaded with precision, mixing in a ground game that spread the ball around.
And the Bulls ready to go here from deep in their own territory. Student section at their back. And they will run on first down and splitting the seam and going all the way down the field for a huge gain. And finally out of bounds is Johnny Ford.
Bendel keeps it himself, fouling Beals. He's over 100, and he's into the end zone.
UConn showed its mettle and kept the game tight, but the Bulls refused to relinquish the momentum. The timing was perfect. The depth of South Florida's contributions now extended to special teams.
Here comes USF. Gernard Phillips, a 65-yard return.
Sometimes in football, it's not just what you do, but when you do it. Phillips' return took the sting out of the Huskies' score and put the ball back into the hands of Blake Barnett.
Barnett keeps, runs the left side. He's got the first down, cuts it back inside, and he scores. That's 6 for the Bulls. 20 yards, Blake Barnett, and USF extends their lead.
Barnett is a graduate student, and his legs, arm, and perhaps most important, his leadership had things looking good on the scoreboard and maybe even better in the stands, where the decibel level from the homecoming party was reaching new heights. And the noise and enthusiasm had its effect on the field as well.
Taking a shot, and it's intercepted. Nick Roberts with the pick for the Bulls, and a lot of green in front of him. Roberts looking for the pick six. Finally brought down at the 16-yard line. The redshirt freshman with his second career interception, and a huge one for this USF defense.
Getting the edge and getting into the end zone for a touchdown is Johnny Ford. He's in for the second time tonight.
It's often said that football teaches good life lessons. Against UConn, the Bulls were not perfect, but they persevered, adjusting and working until they got to their game. And the result was tying the record for the best start in program history at 7-0, sending their homecoming crowd home happy.
The give to Ford, has the first down and more. The spin move to freedom.
And he spins away from a tackler into the open field. Here he goes, Johnny Ford, his third of the night. This one from 43 yards out.
Ford and Jordan Cronkrite each went over 100 yards rushing as the Bulls piled up 611 yards of offense. They're one of 5 unbeaten teams left in the country, and 2 of them reside in the East Division of the AAC.
Thank you.